So let's talk about these 7 plus 1. The plus 1 is water. Now the first thing you must have in your food storage is water. Every guide that I have read, from government publications to church guidelines, suggests 1 gallon per person per day for 2 weeks. Now that means 14 gallons per person in the household. That's for drinking water or cooking. Plus, you need the knowledge and the ability to clarify and to purify more water. You can see our emergency preparedness lesson on water. You cannot survive without water. Within hours of an emergency, water will become critical to you. So on our 7 plus 1 chart, water is the plus 1, and it's right in the center. Wheat and grains. Now obviously wheat is the king of the grains. It is amazingly versatile. Most people think of bread, but wheat can be used for tortillas and rolls and crackers and cakes and cookies and pies. But it can also be prepared as an alternative to meat and even as a sweetener. With appropriate spices, wheat can, quote, become just about anything. But wheat is only one of the grains. The other grains provide wonderful taste alternatives to wheat in many recipes. Also, for those who are gluten intolerant, many of the other grains can be substituted. Please see our article called Summary of Grains and Their Uses on the website. Now experiment with various other grains as your experience increases, but learn to use whole grains. The next one, legumes. Legumes are beans and peas and lentils. Now beans are the natural complement to wheat and grains. Separately, neither of these contains a complete protein because one or more of the 8 essential amino acids that we need for our bodies are missing or are in short supply. However, mixing grains and seeds and legumes provides all of the essential amino acids to build a complete protein. Most people think only of cooked beans in their whole form. And many, including myself before I'd learned more, didn't really care for beans. I like chili, but I am not a whole bean fan. But by grinding beans into a flour or mashing them and using them in other foods, you can actually use them in various recipes. Anitra will show you some marvelous recipes. We now use beans nearly every day in breads, in smoothies, in gravy, in almost every way you can imagine. And no, you don't get the gas that you might otherwise get. And no, your foods don't taste like lima beans. Learning how to use beans is one of the most remarkable secrets about food storage. We hope you will learn more about this. The next topic is powdered dairy. Powdered dairy is the next secret that you should know about. And you guessed it, Anitra has many lessons on this topic. You might be thinking, powdered milk? I hate powdered milk. You know what? So do I, almost. I grew up milking cows on a farm and drinking whole milk. I know what real milk tastes like. I can often tell the difference between the breed of a cow and what the cow ate. I have found only 1 or 2 brands of powdered milk that I don't mind drinking. Nevertheless, I still prefer not to drink powdered milk. But I'm talking about more than powdered milk. I'm talking about powdered butter, powdered shortening, powdered eggs and egg whites, and powdered cheese. Of course, you're not going to spread powdered butter on your bread, but you could use powdered butter in your cakes. Now, all of a sudden, you can store all of the ingredients you need for cake mixes, soup mixes. Yes, like the ones you buy, but without the preservatives. Casserole and dinner mixes that you can quickly combine to make dinners in literally minutes instead of hours. Powdered dairy is one of the powerful additions to your food storage. If you don't know much about this one, you need to learn more about it. Sprouts. Now, when I learned about sprouts, my whole perspective on food storage changed. Sprouts multiply the vitamins and nutrients in seeds and nuts. And by learning to sprout a few different varieties of seeds and nuts, you can acquire all of the vitamins and essential nutrition that you need. Anitra uses a variety of sprouts throughout her lessons. The health benefits have been well researched and documented. Honey and sweeteners. There are a variety of sweeteners to store in your food storage. Honey is natural and the most healthy, but most of us will also store some processed sugar. Also consider molasses and maple. We don't have lessons specifically devoted to the sweeteners, but nearly all of the recipes call for one or the other. And again, you can use our spreadsheet or the website trackmyfoodstorage.com to determine the amounts that you might need to store. In general, 60 pounds per person per year is necessary. Salt and seasonings. You should include 8 pounds of salt per person per year, but the seasonings is up to you. Now, what do we mean by seasonings? This is a broad topic. This would include your spices, seasonings, bouillon cubes or powder, and make sure it doesn't contain MSG, cocoa powder, vanilla flavorings, etc. I mean every type of seasoning that you would use. The more the variety that you have, the more variety you will have in your dinners. Learn to use a variety of these seasonings and spices. After you establish the basics in seasonings and spices, you can begin to add pudding mixes, drink mixes, and other enhancements. We highly recommend buying your seasonings and spices in bulk. Anitra will teach lessons on finding excellent places on bulk spices and how to organize them, and we'll try to provide those resources online. Oils is the next topic. Most sources recommend 10 quarts per person per year. Now this would include your cooking oil, peanut butter, shortening butter, etc. Now remember, you can get powdered shortening and powdered butter and margarine. This extends the storage life from months to years. Plus, you gain the advantage of making your own mixes, which can be used for quick meals. Now these are the basic ingredients of a complete food storage. You could easily live off these foods with amazing variety. Nevertheless, these are only the basics. You'll also want to consider storing foods with other methods. We will add more and more articles and videos to these topics in the future. Commercially canned foods, buying at case lot sales, for example, home canning or bottling foods, dehydrating, including commercially freeze-dried and open sun-drying gardening. The gardening, including square foot gardening or indoor gardening, or maybe textured vegetable protein, it's also called TVP, root storage principles, and of course freezing. How do you get started? Number one, calculate what you use now or will need. In Lesson 1 under Food Storage Lessons, we will help you get started. Number two, learn new methods to use whole foods and mix them into your current foods. Each lesson teaches a new concept or gives a unique recipe. Learn the most efficient ways to buy bulk foods. At the end of each lesson or video, we'll point you to vendors we have found to have the best deals on food. Most importantly, we think you will become more and more excited as you learn these new concepts. Food storage is not just a can of wheat in your basement or closet. It is part of your pantry. We'll try to guide you through this process. And remember, you can visit the forum and ask questions. If you need a lesson on a certain topic, please submit the topic at the forum. It is also important that we build a strong online community. The stronger we build our online community, the better pricing and the discounts that we can all get. Therefore, it's important to work together to share this information. Tell your friends about this website. Did you know that we have created a rewards program for helping us build Simply Living Smart membership community? Visit our rewards page for helping us build this online community. Again, we thank you for your support of this site. We promise to do all we can to help you become more prepared for difficult personal times or any disaster.